Hey guys, it's Lucy Kate and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is yet another Japan themed video. It's a slightly short, spontaneous video, but I had a video idea to make for my Japanese channel and I thought why not upload it on here too in English, because I think the topic will be interesting to those of you who are also interested or maybe living in Japan. And basically the video topic is English that you will only find in Japan. So I'm sure many of you who are aware of Japanese or Japan know in Japan they have regular hiragana and kanji, and they also have katakana. So katakana is used for foreign words that derive from a foreign language. In Japanese katakana, there's many English words that you wouldn't actually use or find in English-speaking countries. So I thought, why not just name a few of them today? So of course, there's so many katakana words that we don't use in English that if I listed them all, we would be in this video forever. So today I'm only actually naming 16 of them. And if you guys enjoy this video, I'll definitely do more Japanese or like language themed videos in the future. So before we get into the video, if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, definitely hit the subscribe button. I upload content every single weekend. I upload a wide variety of content such as Japan content, language content, Hawaii content, and makeup content as well. And without further ado, let's get into the video. I split them into 4 different categories. So we have the category of food, clothes, everyday things, and then business vocabulary. So let's begin with food. So the first one is a vegetable, and it is this vegetable right here. So in English, you would call this a green pepper, a bell pepper, green bell pepper. In Japanese, this is called a piiman. I'm not sure where this came from, but that is what you would say in Japanese. Obviously, if you say it in English, you would be taken in the wrong way. This one, green pepper, is called piiman in Japanese. The next one we have is bread. Bread in Japanese is called pan. And actually, pan is French for bread. So, you know, in Japanese katakana, it doesn't necessarily mean that all the words are from the English language. Some of the words, and there's one other one I'm going to mention later, they used or borrowed from other different languages. So in French, pan would be bread, but obviously if we would say pan in English, it would mean like a fry pan, and the spelling of pan in French is pain in English. So in both ways, they would be a completely different meaning. And then the last food item I thought of today is this right here. So in Japan, this strawberry shortcake is very popular. It's, you know, the number one cake that Japanese people eat for birthdays and Christmases. But of course, in English, we wouldn't necessarily say shortcake. I guess we would say sponge cake instead of shortcake. But if you're like me and you grew up in the 2000s or 1990s as well, I think, you would know this character right here, strawberry shortcake. So I guess shortcake is technically used, but on an everyday basis, if you're ordering a cake, you wouldn't say shortcake that much, I think. I also think it depends on the type of cake you're ordering. So moving on to the second category, we have free clothing items. And the first one is this one right here. So in English, we would call this a hoodie. However, in Japanese, this is called a parka, or in a more English sounding version, parka. Parka is a commonly used last name. Like some of the katakana words, like I understand, like they abbreviate it from English or they took it from different languages. But some of these words, like I don't know where they came from. So the second clothing item we have is this right here. So this is obviously a dress in English. However, in Japanese, this is called a one piece. Basically, because it's one piece of clothing, it's called a one piece. And One Piece is also a very famous Japanese manga, which I'm sure many of you know of. But in English, of course, we wouldn't call this a one piece. We would call this a dress. So yeah, some of the katakana, it's like you can kind of get where they got it from. It's like, you know, oh, because a dress is just one piece of clothing, that's why they call it that. But still, it's just interesting that that became the word to recognize these certain items. And then the last one, this is a really interesting one. So the last one is a scarf. So English, we would call this a scarf. In Japanese, this is called a mafura. Or in an English sounding version, it would be a muffler. I don't know where these words come from, but that is what it came to be known as. The third category we have is everyday items. So for the everyday things category, I have 4 words I'd like to introduce to you guys. So in English, this is obviously known as a microwave. However, in Japanese, you would call this a range in English. And obviously range is a completely different vocabulary in English language. It would mean like a variety, like a wide range of things. I don't know where this came to be known as a range instead of a microwave, but I guess microwave would be difficult to say in Japanese, in katakana. So yeah, range is easy to say in Japanese, in the Japanese language, but I'm not sure where it came from. Okay, the next one, this is a common one, which I think many Japanese people say this in English, and then they struggle to realize that English-speaking people don't understand what they mean, and that is this right here. So this is known as an air conditioner or an AC, and in Japanese, this is called aircon. So like the one that I'm going to introduce after this, lots of katakana words do come from English, but they've abbreviated it, they've shortened it. Air conditioner would be difficult to say in Japanese language, so that's why they shortened it to aircon and aircon. But obviously, if somebody said this to you in English, you wouldn't know what it is. I guess if you've spoken to Japanese people before, if you're accustomed to Japanese culture, of course you would know what it is. But if someone said this to you randomly, I don't think that you would 100% know what they are trying to talk about. Another common one that many Japanese people say in English is television or TV in Japanese is called terebi. I guess the V pronunciation is one of the most difficult letters for Japanese people to pronounce because there isn't a V sound in Japanese language. They have the B sound, but not the V sound. So I guess that's why instead of saying TV in katakana, they say terebi. As you can see, it's a B sound instead of the V. If you say in English, it wouldn't make sense. So yeah, those are the most 2 common ones, I think, that I thought of when I first decided to make this video. Another everyday thing I thought of was stickers. So in English, we call it stickers. And in katakana, you can say stickers. It's called sticker. So the pronunciation is different. Instead of sticker, it's sticker. But stickers are commonly known as shiru in Japanese. Shiru. So shiru, if you said a seal in English, it would mean, seals, the animal seal, but shiru is known as stickers in Japanese. And there is more stationery items that I wanted to mention today, but like I said, today was just a short version of the video, and if you guys enjoy it and are interested in this topic of Japanese English or Japanglish, I would definitely make a second version. So we have one more category left, and that is business vocabulary. So for the business category, we have 5 words. Yet another common one is this right here. So in English, we would call this a laptop or a PC. In Japanese, this is called a note pasokon. So note means it's like a compact one. So just a pasokon is a regular desktop. And then if they put note in front of it, it means it's like a portable one, like a laptop. And then pasokon stands for personal computer, which is of course what PC stands for. If someone approached you and said pasokon, like for example, do you have a pasokon charger? Unless you know Japanese, unless you've been to Japan, I doubt that the regular person would know what it means. So this is obviously extremely different. And then the second one I thought of was misu. So in Japanese, they sometimes say misu wo shite shimatta. I made a mistake. So obviously they abbreviated mistake to misu. But if you say misu, miss, in English, it would mean a different meaning. For example, you want to see someone, you miss them, you miss somebody. And then the third one that I have is complaint. So in English, you would say you want to make a complaint about someone, you want to file an official complaint. In Japanese, this is called kureimu. Claim means a completely different thing to complain in English. So this is another one of those mysteries where I don't know how it came to become a claim. Okay, so we have 2 more vocabs left, and both of them are job titles. So these 2 are most commonly ones that you would hear in a business setting, and also if you have experience English teaching, you would hear these as well. I personally hear these 2 words mistakenly used in English from running my own English school businesses in Japan. For example, when someone introduces their job title. And the number 1 common one is office worker. So in English, for somebody that works for a company, you would call them a company worker, an office worker, or businessman. And in Japanese, this is called a salaryman. Pronounced in English, it would mean salaryman, which obviously does not make a sense because anyone who is working has a salary. They are making money. So this is used in everyday Japanese language. So if you live in Japan for a while, 100% you will hear this word used, but it is not used in English. So for example, if you have experience teaching English or introducing yourself to someone might say, I'm a salaryman. But obviously it means, you know, they work for a company, they're an office worker, they have an office job. So this is, one of the most common katakana Japanglish words you'll hear. And then on the flip side, someone who is a part-time worker, in Japanese you would say arubaito. To pronounce it in English, you would say albite. Of course, this word itself does not even exist in the English language, and this is actually a German word. So like in the very first category for bread, for pan, which was a French word, Arbeit is a German word. Arbeit comes from the German language. So yet again, this is another example of a katakana word that is not taken from the English language, but from a different language. But I think these two are very common ones that you will hear, for example, when you ask what someone's job is or when they introduce themselves to you. That wraps up the 15 Japanglish words that you wouldn't use in English. So please let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this video. If you want more of this like language related stuff, I'd be more than happy to film it. Also, if you've been to Japan before or if you live in Japan, please let me know your favorite Japanglish words, because there's many more. Like I only said 15 today, but there was so many more that I thought of, but I just didn't have time to include in today's video. And if you want to see more Japan content from me, I do have a Japan playlist, which I will link in the description box down below. Basically a summary of all my living in Japan sort of like talkative videos that I have on this channel. And if you're not already, definitely hit the subscribe button to see more videos like this from me. And that is it for today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!